All right, good morning. Welcome back, guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Thursday. Make sure everything's good on my side here. How we doing? All right, we are live. HOA update. Shit, I actually we got approved. We got approved, man. The HOA fears me. Welcome back, everyone. How we doing? Morning, morning, morning. All right, so yesterday, interesting day. Great patience. Stripper pole in the background? Where at? Where are we at? Tootsie's? It's stripper pole in the backyard. Yeah, that's what I got the HOA approved for. Yep. That's right. So yesterday, good patience all day. Nice, very nice channel pretty much all morning, which was really nice. Nice channel all morning between our 57.25 and our 56.90 spot. So we had that nice morning channel. We'll talk about it in just a second. We broke above that channel post FOMC, and what an end of day squeeze that was, man. What a sick move. Man, felt like the old times. An actual move on the market. It was nice to see things actually flow. It's been tough to get some real flow. So I've been struggling this month. This is definitely not my best month. I've had some pretty decent red days. I've had some good days, some bad days. Haven't really been able to stack and stack and stack. But we're staying alive and still up great for the year. And it feels like you can't get more than like a 10-15% scalp, right? I've been conditioned the last few weeks to just take 10-15% scalps because I just know that there's a reversal, there's just no continuation, and I have to grab, 15-20% when I can. But yesterday, holy shit. I mean, I have not seen 250% in my portfolio for a very long time. I mean, it felt like there was a weight off my shoulders. It just felt nice to see something run 250%. I have not seen that in a very long time in my trades because you just don't get it. You just don't quite get it. So nice yesterday. However, did you see the market this morning? We've given it all back. So this is another example, and I've gotten some questions in the Discord lately, and I get it. I've gotten some questions from the 9-to-5ers, from the people that work their day jobs and are sitting around waiting for me to send out some swing trade alerts. They're sending me messages saying, "Hey, Desi, where are the swing trades at, man?" Right? I need a swing, right? They're like, "Where are the swings at?" Right? And I'm just, my honest answer to that is I'm not taking any. Right? And I'm not going to send out a trade or alert a trade that I'm not in myself. I never say anything about trades unless I have my own money in it. That's the only time I talk about trades in my community. If my money's in it, I'll let you know. But I'm not going to send out these trades because you're looking for some kind of swing trade, right? It's just not it's not an environment that I would have any trust in swing trading in. It's really not. There has been some nice downside swings, maybe a few weeks ago that maybe I could have got a little bit more aggressive on. But over the last week, 2 weeks, man, every single morning is a new question mark. Every single day is a new question. I would have zero confidence to tell you what happens. And I mean this, zero confidence to tell you what happens on an overnight session. Zero. Right? That's why I don't even feel comfortable making like videos on YouTube about, what I think the market's going to do, because I'm not going to pretend like I know. I'm just taking this day by day. I'm scalping our technical levels. I'm taking rejection plays off supply. I'm taking possible longs off demand on the intraday. I'm taking my profits, and I'm getting the fuck out of here. That's how I look at this market right now, and I would recommend doing the same, man. I really don't think you want any kind of big idea, Nostradamus ideas. It's definitely not the market right now. I could easily make the case for both directions, right? Oversold. We could absolutely see an oversold rip to the upside. We could absolutely see a lower high form and new lows. I could see absolutely both sides to this market. So I think, yeah, that's my feel for you, man. That's my read for you. So that's my early morning read. Let's move on. Let's just play the levels, man, because the levels were fucking awesome yesterday. And I say that with the F word because Bank of England holds interest rates, warns global trade uncertainty has intensified. Okay, great. Thanks, Bank of England. I say that with the F word because they really were absolutely perfect yesterday. And that was sick. That was sick. So let's go ahead and jump into the levels here today. Let me get the screen share going over on WAP. One of these. One of those. That one. There we go. All right. So let's start with let's start with ES. What do we got on the economic today? What's the macro? Unemployment claims 830. So unemployment claims 830, existing home sales 10, Trump speaking at 1040. Okay, where's Trump speaking? What's he speaking about? Digital Asset Summit. Oh, okay. Digital Asset Summit. Asset. Is that going to be something to watch the crypto boys on? Maybe. So Trump speaking at 1040 about the Digital Asset Summit. But unemployment claims this morning, probably something, we'll obviously be here and paying attention to that. So let's jump in. ES. So what did we talk about yesterday? Well, we had two different zones yesterday on the ES. We had our first zone was here, right? And let's go ahead and zoom in. Our first zone yesterday on the ES was between I'm going to delete this for now. Our first zone on the ES was between 56.50 and 50. I had it at 56.90 yesterday. I have moved that down, so I'll show you why I've moved that down today. But we were talking 56.50 to 56.90, right? That was sort of our read yesterday. That was what we were. That's what we were looking at. 1 second. I'm getting an alert on YouTube saying that everything all right on YouTube? Yeah, it looks all right. Okay, so 56.80, 56.50. Yesterday morning, we got above that 56.80, 56.90 level. We held above it. We ripped higher right into our next, which was 57.25. That was perfect. What a perfect morning into 57.25, and what a perfect little fail at that level in the afternoon, right? That was exactly our previous high here, and that was the perfect failure point intraday. So right into 57.25, that was absolutely gorgeous. This was the level that we were yelling and screaming about on the live stream yesterday. What a beautiful intraday fail of that level for some downside before FOMC. That downside, guess what, comes right back down into our morning 56.90, 56.80, right? So beautiful channel you created yesterday on the intraday. A beautiful intraday channel was created. And if TOS would work for me, that would be a beautiful thing today. Here we go. So we have our intraday channel. It was established prior to FOMC, which is great, right? Because we could very easily then say, okay, we know high of day 57.25, we know low of day 56.80, and we are now heading into 2 o'clock FOMC. So now we can easily say break and retest above, break and retest below, and that is my very easy trade, right? And that's what I have to trust. That's it. I got to trust it. If I don't trust that, then what am I doing here? Why am I even looking to trade on FOMC? All right, so we have a very clear range on the day, 25 to 90 or 80 now. I'll explain to you why I moved that. And we simply just say, okay, if we can get outside of this range, post FOMC, there should be some action that takes place. And that is exactly the trade that we took yesterday. Exactly the trade. If you guys watched my video yesterday, it's a pretty low watched video. So if you haven't watched it, go watch it for me. It's actually a really good, I think it's a really good video. So I'd recommend go watching that. You'll see the entire live trade from yesterday post FOMC and really explaining how this channel trade worked out and how you wait for these channels to break. So yesterday we had a beautiful break and retest over the 57.25, which was just an absolute thing of beauty. So that was sweet. Break and retest 57.25. We held above that into close, and we pushed into, which again was our next level. We have not changed this 57.70. If you guys remember on the live stream yesterday, this was our next level, 57.70. And if you watch the video from yesterday, you'll see how we took profits into that supply high, knowing that that was our next supply level. So that was a good example of where do I look to take profits, right? The question always is, Desi, where do I look to take profits? Yeah, I can take those labels off. Those are just lasting labels. Where do I look to take profits, right? Well, the next supply level, right? And yesterday, that was a great example of 57.70. So that was a beautiful day. Now, let's move forward. So today, we got the same exact levels, and they are absolutely, they're absolutely working again. I'm just going to take these labels off because obviously we have label police in the chat. So, 57.25, Monday's highs, Tuesday's highs, yesterday's highs, right? And yesterday's hold level, 57.25, that is going to be the exact same spot to look for rejections again today. That's the exact same spot, right? So let's take a look at this. Today, we are going to be looking for a fade higher and a rejection at 57.25. That's what we're looking for today, right there. That would be a fantastic thing to look for today, in my opinion. 57.25 fades, that'll definitely be one of my top watches on the day. If we reclaim 57.25 today and we have a hold above it, that could be another reason to look to the upside again, right? Maybe we make up this entire downside move from the pre-market. That would only be a trade if we reclaim 57.25. So if we do get a nice hold above that, we're looking for that long, over 25 again, right? Over that hold from yesterday, we're looking for trade that long again, targeting 70. Very clean. Now, if we reject 25, our downside target, right, on this rejection here would be back into 80, right? And the reason I brought this down to 80 today is because we can see that this low and this low has come in pretty damn clean at 80, which also includes these highs from Tuesday, right? So we have these Tuesday highs at 56.80, and we have these very clear lows from yesterday, right? So that's nice. I like that. We have these highs from Tuesday. We have these lows from yesterday, 56.80. Very, very nice. Okay, so what a beautiful trade it will be today if we fail under 80, turn yesterday's double bottom low into a rejection point, and then just absolutely crush that short. That's definitely something I would look for down into 50. Right here, you can see the 50, which is this low from Tuesday. So if we break under 80, we're looking short into 50. If we break under 50, we're looking short into 10, right? And if we pop and fade, we're looking for that rejection play at 57.25. The only long that I would take today, there's only one long I would take today. It's over 25. That's the only long. Over 25 into 70 is the only long I would consider today, right here. Besides that, I would be looking for fades. I would not be looking to long these demand lows personally. I don't like longing these demand lows back into 25. I don't think that is worth it, personally. Just me. Now, there could be scalps off 80 today. There could be scalps off 50 today. I'm not saying that that's not possible. I'm just not interested in that trade personally because I know that this 25 is just a behemoth, and I don't really want to be long anywhere near that 25 or even trying to push something into it. I'd rather just look to see if fails start to occur here and use my brain power that way, personally. There's only so much brain power you get in a day, man. You got to pick and choose your battles. And so I think my brain power is much better used looking for fades here than it is trying to grab some sweaty longs off these lows today. Now, if you get over 25, then that would be something I would consider on the long side. Okay? That's the ES. Let's go to the SPY. SPY, same levels. And guess what? We got pretty damn close. We're not there yet, but we got pretty damn close to the 200 SMA on SPY yesterday. If I could somehow grab this 200 SMA, that would be great. There we go. Let's get that nice and thick. Let's get that nice and thick. So, you guys can see right there that 200 SMA just floating right here, man. And we got pretty close. Not quite there yet, but we are absolutely still below it. And I really don't think there's much reason to be overly bullish unless that is a clear break and hold above, personally. The 200 SMA is no joke, and I would be careful longing into that at all, right? I just have no interest really in longing into that. So that's at 573. And we are still below that, right? We are definitely still below that. You guys can see just 570, Monday's highs, smackdown. So 570, smackdown, right? And that's going to continue to be our level up there to be cautious of. Anywhere from 570 to 573 is going to be very heavy above, okay? Now, what a beautiful lower high that could be created today at 560, 650 on the SPY, right? Look at this. Monday's rejection. Monday's later day hold. Tuesday's rejection. Yesterday's intraday rejection. Yesterday's later day hold. Bam. 560, 650. Break, retest, fail. That would be the trade to look for today. This would be so nice if we could get that. It's a matter of knowing how a trade will play out versus like what you actually want to see in the market, right? Do I want to see the market get crushed here? Do I want my long term to lose more money? No, I don't. But do I know that a break and fail and another rejection here would pay for short-term traders? Fuck yeah, it would, right? Because you would have some really weak bulls here. You'd have some nice failures at these previous highs. This would definitely flow, in my opinion. And that would really be the trade that I think we should all be looking for today. Does it happen? I don't know, right? Is this just a total fake out today and we go straight back up? That is very possible. And so you have to obviously implement your risk management. You have to make sure you read price action. I can't tell you for sure this is going to happen, but that is definitely the trade that I would be looking for today. 560, 650. Let's see if it starts to fail there. If we get back above 560, 650, right? If we get back above that, then we're going back higher to 570. It's the same thing as the ES, okay? Down below, Tuesday's highs, yesterday's double bottom lows, or really this pre-market low, yesterday's low, Tuesday's highs, yesterday's morning low, and this low in the pre-market, 562. 562. That's your possible hold spot today, right? That could be your possible double bottom here as well, right? So you need to be careful of that. We can move lower. 562 could step up again, and we could bounce just like we did here and just like we did here. So please be careful. If you are short, you want to be short here, and you want to be profit taking into here. You're not shorting after it's already here and then getting smacked in the ass. That's just a rookie mistake. So if you're going to look short today, you better start to try to find entries up towards the 560-650. You're not looking for entries right at 562. Now, if you get under 562, that's a great short down into the Tuesday's lows at 559. Right? If you get something of a break and retest rejection under 562, that's our short into 559. And under that, you're going 555. But boy, oh boy, could you see how this could start to set up, right, on maybe a little bit of a bear flag, break, bear flag, rejection. I hope it plays. I hope it pays. NASDAQ futures. All right, let's go to NASDAQ futures, 15-minute. 15-minute NQ. 19,940. 19,940. 19,940 smackdown from Tuesday, 19,940 high a day yesterday before FOMC. And let's go into the 5-minute chart, right? Take a look at this. Take a look at this. This is just really, really clean stuff today, guys. Look at this right here. 19,940, that's where you held into end of day post FOMC. You moved up into 20,100. That was your 20,100 fail in the pre-market. 19,940. That would be the beautiful rejection play to look for today. If we can get that push up into 19,940 into that yesterday high, I would absolutely look to see if we can fade that off that level. Now, if it doesn't get there and we just sort of curl here, then we need to be careful down into the 19,750 demand. 19,750 is a very clear hold from yesterday from this pre-market. I think you have to break under 19,750 to get more downside continuation. 19,750 is also these lows here, and also Tuesday's highs, right? Also Tuesday's highs. So, 19,750, lows, Tuesday's highs, yesterday's lows, pre-market low, could bounce off that, so be aware of that if you are short. Of course, you can always look for the possible longs here if you would like, but just be careful of the upside supplies. Underneath 19,750, you are looking for that move into 19.6. Below that, 19.4. Okay. QQQ. Man, that 485, 486 zone. What a heavy zone that is. I don't know if you guys remember us talking about this zone, man. We did. We did on Monday. We talked about it on the longer term analysis. This is also this previous Thursday low back here. This is a big ass spot at 485, 486. And this is also, I think I have, yeah, this is all, guys, this is awesome. Oh, man, does that sort of look like a bear flag to me? This 485, 486 zone, guys, is a monster daily chart level. I need you to pay attention now, okay? If you're not watching the screen, if you're just listening, I need you to watch the screen right now. This is no joke here on the QQQ, okay? This is a must break. For any of you out there to look long on this market, you have to break this level to even start to consider it. My friends, if we go to the daily chart on the QQQ, right, and we take a look at this daily chart, look at this 486 spot. You have major daily failures here. You have a major daily failure here. You did get above it here, which caused a rip, but you failed right back under it. And when you failed back under it, it caused a fat rejection. Right here, you squeeze up into 486. Look at the rejection that comes in off that level. That 486 spot then turns into the exact level that you held above to help the market higher for the rest of the year. All right? This was the key inflection point of 2024. This was it. This was 2024's inflection point. It was 486 on the QQQ. This was the most important level of last year. Right? Why do I say that? Because that is the level that made you go from a topping market from June to around September into a bull trend into end of year. It was because we turned 486 into support. That is why you went higher last year. And now, you are currently sitting right under that level. If this turns into a lower high at 486, you could absolutely go straight down to 450. There's absolutely nothing stopping this. Look back here. Look what happened off 486 previously. This went straight to 450. This went straight to 450. If this rejects here, and we really start to see weakness step in again on this market, like real weakness, this is a bear flag right into 450. You need to be aware of that. You need to stay safe. You need to make sure that that is a very high possibility. I would not be degenerately longing things if we are under 486. That is very clear. And you also are still under the 200 SMA. Right? So this is very concerning. Be aware of this. This could be a sick trade. And remember, that's the daily chart. Yes. On the weekly chart, you can also see how big this was on the weekly chart. Weekly rejections, weekly rejection, weekly demand. Look at that right now. Look. So, I would be very cautious of that. And I would really like to, that read right there absolutely makes me want to get Nostradamus with it. No doubt, right? And really, I see the downside more than I see the upside here. This makes me want to get Nostradamus with it for sure. I'm going to be honest, right? That definitely gets me interested of whether I just slam some puts, right? Let's just keep trading the levels, but I think there's a very clear reason not to be bullish if you are below, right? And it's not some kind of coincidence, by the way, my friends. It's not some kind of coincidence that is the exact level that absolutely smacks the FOMC move, right? That is not some kind of coincidence that absolutely smacks this Monday's upside. That's not some kind of coincidence that absolutely smacks the FOMC move. And that's not some kind of coincidence that the market fails off of in the pre-market today. That's not just some kind of fairy dust, right? That is because this is a monster spot. So, yeah, if you stay under this 480.50 today, yesterday's highs before FOMC, I would say downside continuation. 476 is your demand. Under 476, you're going lower to 472. If you break this 472 low, you might start to see that downside start to slip, guys. All right, let's see what break we need to say, hey, that bear flag that Desi talked about might actually be coming true, right? Let's take a look. Obviously, you're going to need to break the 465 lows, right? That's for sure. You're definitely going to need to break these lows from last week at 465, 468. So any downside move from this point could rip back higher off this low. That should be known, right? So to really catch that next downside, guys, it's pretty easy. You don't need to be, and this goes, and this sort of now, right? This now reminds me why I shouldn't be Nostradamus in this market. It's not that you have to catch the shorts off this level, guys. You don't need to be shorting up here. And you don't need to be shorting, right, within this structure. You will absolutely find opportunity if you just wait for this to break these previous structure lows right here to turn into rejections like this, right? And take your entry right here, right? You do not need to catch it from here. It's very easy to just trade the shorts underneath these very clear lows, right? Wait for a break and retest below those lows and just get in with confidence underneath 465. That's pretty damn easy. So you can try to grab it here and try to sweat through this downside, right? I would just sort of sit comfortable and wait for this to happen, and then I don't need to sweat at all, right? There's no sweating. There would be absolutely no sweat on the downside if we break and retest this last week's lows. That would be just a mindless short at that point, Mindless. So, depends on how you want to look at it, but that would be my recommendation. You don't need to sweat through the shorts through this and into this demand. You can just wait for it to break, in my opinion. So, that's that. Data is coming out now. Let's see how the market reacts to it, if at all. And it doesn't look like we're reacting at all. Too much free information today to have 874 likes. That's fucking disgusting. To be honest. Too much information today. Too much free information today for you to sit there and not press the like button. Too much. We're going to move on. All right, moving on. Tesla. Disrespectful. Tesla. 233, 235. Very clear. 233, 235. Very clear. Right there. If we fail that, right, we could definitely see downside continuation. We need to get under 230. Stop asking for coupons. 230. Coupons are done. That's the last one you're going to get all year, man. That's it. I don't run coupons. I did it for the 100K. It's over. No more coupons. Go somewhere else. That runs Valentine's Day coupons. That runs, it's Thursday, March 20th. We're going to offer 20% off today. Nope, not me. 233, 235 on Tesla. That could be something to watch the fade today. You need to break under 230, though. You need to break under 230. Okay? You got to break under 230. If you break under 230, then you get downside into 226.50. 230, under that, 226.50. Okay? Under that, 223. So let's see. 235. Let's see if that can be a little pop and fader today. If you get back over 235, right? If you get back over 235, you could go back into 240. That could be something to watch as well. Obviously, depends on what we see on the market today. Okay? So watching that Tesla 235, 233 zone today. Under 235, I like the fade. Over 235, I think you can go back to 240. Nvidia. So Nvidia is getting sort of, actually, we missed the SMH. Let me get to the SMH. The SMH today, guys, is something very, something to watch very closely. Alex, appreciate that, Alex. Guys, the SMH is something you need to watch this very closely here. You guys can see right here, double bottom lows on the SMH, right? And look at this high that's starting to step in at the daily 20 SMA. This is something I am very closely watching today. If the SMH fails this 233, and this 4-hour previous double bottom low right here, see how this broke, retested, and is now rejecting this level? If we reject this 233 on SMH, which also lines up perfectly with the daily 20 SMA, I would look for a break under this 233 low, or 233 high here, and I would look for a break and retest downside move. I have an alert set, and if that starts to happen, I think you can start to see weakness on semis, but we'll have to see if that starts to set up. Nvidia, 118 today, right here. 118, we had a lot of trouble at 118 yesterday. Let's see what happens at 118 today. Under 118, I think the fade is very possible. If you reclaim 118 today, then I think you could sort of build strength again. Over 118, you could start to see that squeeze again. I do not like the longs anywhere up in here, though. I'm going to be honest with you. I really don't at all. I don't like the longs if you're under 120, 122. I don't like the longs into the daily 20. I just think it's a very tough zone above. I really have a hard time trusting that zone. Look at the daily 20 SMA yesterday. Look at the smackdown off that level. So I really don't like the longs here. If you are below 121, 122, personally, there's just a lot of rejections up here, right? There are a lot of rejections up here. You have the 200 SMA up here. Just really seems to be getting heavy. However, it does seem pinned, right? Because you have 114 demand, which you can't really get too aggressive on the short side into. So you're pretty pinned right now on Nvidia, just sort of sideways. But if you can get some kind of lower high here under 118, I think you can look for that trade back to 114. Under 114, I think you can start to get the slip. 20 SMA causing rejections, very clear right now. I'm very interested to see if AMD continues to hold up the way it has been. Will AMD continue to hold up? Or is this a big fake out on the bull side? That is something I'm very intrigued by. Look at this AMD zone that it's starting to trade into. Right up in here. Right? 107, 110 on AMD. Huge previous lows. See these lows? Look how we're starting to trade into that. AMD has created a pretty textbook bear flag into these previous lows. And I am very intrigued on whether this is something to be watching here. That looks just like the SMH. The SMH trading higher, back into a previous rejection point. If that starts to give up, then I would assume AMD starts to give up as well. Now, there's only one spot you can get short AMD, though. There's only one spot that I would even consider a short on AMD, and that would be under 102. I don't think you have any reason to short in this zone here. I don't think you need to short this off this high. What you can very easily do is wait for it to break under 102, reject it, and that's your short, right? If AMD gets back under these highs here, if AMD gets back under the daily 20, that's your short entry right here. You don't need to short through this zone. You need to wait for it to break under 102, okay? Broadcom, not much, just right back at our supply high and rejecting daily 20 SMA. That could be something that continues. We'll see. But for me, Broadcom's just too tight of a channel, so I'm really not that interested. TSM, interesting high here, 178. Smackdown, 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 and here we are again. Is it another smackdown? Obviously, we'll see what that SMH does today. Okay, let's go to Apple. Apple is, Apple is a very, very interesting trade. I want to show you guys something on the 4-hour here on Apple that I'm really hawking, and I'm waiting to see if we get any type of slip. You guys can see right here, previous 4-hour lows on Apple from back in January. The January lows on Apple, 218. 218, January lows. Now, if I zoom into the 30-minute, you guys can see, look where that 218 level starts to come in. 218 was our low here. 218 was our high here. And 218 was the exact level that got absolutely manhandled yesterday on Apple. I mean, just a total manhandle. Look at this. Look at 218. Look at this selling after 218. Just instantaneous selling after up and just straight back down. 218 on Apple looks to be the spot that you need to clear, in my opinion. Right here is really what I'm interested in. Does 218 clear, or does 218 continue to reject? This is something I will watch. 215 has been important as well, so we can keep our level there at 215. But I think that 218 might be the new spot that we're watching. And right now, you're looking at just this sort of bear flag upside that you're just sort of moving right back into that 218 spot. So big watch here. Let's see what the market does, of course. I think 213 could step up as a support short term, and below that, 210. Those are your possible next support levels to the downside. But I'm just going to be seeing what happens at 218 moving forward. Meta. You guys can see right here, Meta, 586.50, 586.50. Something I'll watch today. Don't really know, like, it's sort of a random spot that Meta sort of pushed up into yesterday, but 598 would really be my favorite fade spot, to be honest. If we can get a move up into this 598 and these previous lows, I would love that. Previous lows here on Thursday at 586.50, watching that. The only thing I don't like about Meta is I don't know if I want to short into the 574. That's just a really tough short. So just be careful down into 574. Amazon, Popped into 197, nice rejections. You need to hold 194. You break under 194, you're going 192. Okay? 197, 194, 192. Google. Google has reclaimed that major low, and it better hold on to it, or there could be some downside, right? You better hold on to this right here. 164, 165, you need to hold this low on Google today, right? That's a very important low that it reclaimed yesterday. If this thing fails back below, then I would be looking for downside continuation possibly. But right now it is holding above, and it needs to hold above. If it does, it probably starts living in this channel again. If we fail below 164, this could really be something to watch. Palantir, I think I'm going to probably stop trading it for a little bit because Palantir has really bad continuation as of now. It is really pinned in this channel right now. I would stay a little bit away from it. Maybe we can trade the extremes. Like we can look to fade 90 or 92, right? Because that has seemed to give you something. But as you start to get in the center here, like near 85, it's a shit show, right? Even yesterday's price action. Let me show you yesterday's price action. Yesterday's price action was disgusting. I mean, pretty much look at this. I mean, it was just it was really bad all afternoon. So yeah, I'm not too interested in Palantir, to be quite honest now. 90 to 85 looks like a total pin, right? You can just see it's just stuck. Even under 85, I would have expected it to flow back to 80, but it did not. So yeah, I'm not too interested in Palantir. You could maybe look to fade the extremes at 90, but I think there's better trades out there personally. Netflix still creating the very interesting retest of this 970 level. It has been building higher quite nicely, to be honest. This 970 is very important. Let me go to the hourly chart. I think you see it a little bit better there. Yeah, here's your hourly chart on Netflix. So very clear levels here. You guys can see this 970. That's our big rejection point. We have now a double top here. We need to get over that 970. Over that 970, you go 990, 1000. Under 850, 950. If you break 950, you go 920. So very clear levels there. 970, 950, 920. Got to see which side breaks, which side holds. Costco, not much. Still under the 200 SMA. What are the crypto boys doing today? Coinbase still just stuck under this supply high. I mean, to me, it's just a total sideways channel. MSTR sort of coming up into a big rejection point here. Yeah, MSTR moving up pretty close to that 330 spot again. That was a nice hold above that. It was like 280. 280 in the daily 20. That was a pretty nice hold there for MSTR. I would say be careful up here, though. 330. You're going to start hitting some pretty heavy spots up here, guys, on MSTR. IBIT. So something that's key today for crypto, guys. IBIT 48. I would watch this. If IBIT can turn this previous rejection into holds today, that could be good for crypto. But if you do fail back under 48, that would be equally as bad, in my opinion. Back under 4, I'm actually going to put an alert here. I need to know if IBIT fails back under. If we fail back below 48, I need to make sure I know that. Yeah, APP is an interesting name. APP may be making a equal high or even maybe a lower high here at these previous lows. See these previous lows? Look at these highs, right? Look how these previous lows right here are turning into highs. So that's very interesting, right? You possibly are looking at maybe a double top here at the 20 and 100 SMA right here at 310. I would say to even look for the short side, in my opinion, I think you probably want this under 276. Because right now you could just be sort of stuck in this channel, right? You could just be starting to trade in here. So I would say under 276, you can get some downside continuation, right? Something like this. Or you can look for under 290. But overall, this 310 spot is definitely big. I think that's going to be just about it. Apple, Netflix, Palantir, Google, Microsoft. Go for Microsoft. Microsoft. That's MicroStrategy. Yeah, Microsoft's trying to hold above this 385. That's not too bad. See that? So, yeah, Microsoft 385, big spot there. GEV, one of my favorite long-term stocks. What a bounce for this stock, man. What an awesome 200 SMA. Look at that thing right there. Oh, man. That's a beauty. I mean, GEV for me is just a long-term. I wouldn't even try to trade GEV. It's just a slow mover. I like it long-term. I like the sector. I like what it does. GEV is just energy for semis, basically. It's all energy, necessary energy. This 350 spot's going to be no joke, though. So I don't know if I'd really be looking long into 350 here. But overall, long-term, I think I love long-term. 350, that's definitely going to be a heavy spot, guys. No doubt. I mean, you could probably look to fade this off 350. Like, that's not going to be easy to get back above. That's obviously depending on the market. Reddit. Reddit. I mean, just the obnoxious pump post-IPO getting sold into, which is pretty self-explanatory. You have a huge gap here. What is this low? 104.11? Yeah, I mean, delete every chart on your line and just wait for it to break 104.11, it looks like to me. I haven't heard someone say plug in 10 years. Plug power, huh? What's that stock up to these days? Yeah, I mean, 104.11 is your gap. So 104.11 to 83. So I guess you just set an alert and wait for it to hit, man. That's it. There's your gap. Let's put an alert under there. Wonder if this thing still needs the gap fill. I'm going to create an alert down there. Make sure I'm aware if that starts going down. What the hell is Plug Power up to these days? Oh my God. Why are you asking me? I mean, my brother in Christ. If you're still holding on to this one, hey man, I salute your patience. I salute your diamond hands, but I'm going to say the glory days are over, my friend. This is called a dead stock. The glory days of Plug Power are over, man. Plug Power. Rest in peace. All right, guys. That's all I got. I hope you enjoyed the live stream. If you did, press that like button, subscribe to the channel. And, yeah. Have a beautiful day. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace out.